All right, we got 2 pre-rolls this week, starting with Freshly. I just had a peppercorn steak Freshly for dinner. That is
I've eaten nothing but Freshly. I've eaten nothing but Freshly for a week.
That's
I live for it.
It's the way to go. They have over 30 delicious meals to choose from. They're always delivered fresh, never frozen. A little more on that later. Ready to heat and enjoy in just 3 minutes. I have enjoyed it, and right now Freshly is offering our listeners $40 off your first 2 orders when you go to freshly.com/JRVP. Stop stressing about dinner. Go to freshly.com/JRVP for $40 off your first 2 orders. Got a new sponsor this week. It's Keeps. The whole episode of JRVP brought to you by Keeps. Did you know 2 out of 3 men will experience some form of hair loss by the time they're 35? I don't know. I feel like we're breaking that trend, at least for now. But if you are ready...
Greg, me and you are good, but Erica's losing it.
Erica's got some trouble. And it's always good to take preventative care here. So if you're ready to prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/JRVP to receive your first month of treatment for free. Again, that's keeps.com/JRVP to get your first month free. keeps.com/JRVP.
Good pre-roll.
Thanks, buddy. All right, coming up, we've got a Josh Off, the best hospital worker ever, and a woke Disney colonist gone wrong in episode 102 of the Jesselnick and Rosenthal Vanity Project.
JRVP.
Junior Vice President.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what other countries can do for you.
I'm ready. I'm bringing the energy. I don't know what that's in reference to, Anthony. Maybe it's like the vaccine hoarding we're doing in the U.S. I doubt it. I doubt you're going political off the top here.
It's a reference to a famous JFK speech, Craig. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah. And I just thought, like, why not? Why shouldn't we, as Americans, want other countries to do our stuff? Like, why do I put out my garbage once a week and have my country come pick it up? You know what I mean? I want Canada to come get that shit. You know what I mean? I want Asia to come and do things for me.
I feel like they do. I feel like that's kind of been the whole thing here with America. Maybe it's fallen off a little bit, but we got a little bit of like a, an imperialist vibe, getting the other countries to do our stuff for us.
Enjoy it while you can. Yeah, enjoy what they used to recycle for us, and now they were like, "Fuck that! We're going to let it float around in the ocean."
I do think that like it's. Like being the president now on some level is maybe like being like the manager of the Yankees. It's like you can almost only disappoint, it's like it's probably heading downhill no matter who's in charge, and you're just going to get blamed for it,
This would have been a reasonable take 8 years ago. Now you sound insane. Now you're like, can't we go back to the glory days of a year ago? I love that shit.
That's not what I mean.
That shit was the best. You know how you woke up every morning and had to watch the news for an hour to make sure you weren't going to get fucking nuked? I miss that.
Yeah, that's true. Biden's been fun. I take it all back.
It's been chill. It's been like having no president. It's been great. All the drama's
He's been
gone.
doing things. He's
doing things.
The upset of the century. He's gonna outdo Barry, his old boss. That's my prediction.
I respect him too much to call him Barry. Johnny Obama is what I call him.
We're going to go political. Like 101 episodes in, we just decided, what should we do? What would the Reddit board like? Go political the whole time.
We've been waiting for this. We've been waiting to get into the hundreds so we could go full-blown political. I've been reading books. Howard Zinn, I read it today. And I just can't wait to talk about American Indians and what they went through. And why we owe them stuff. Reparations,
are you really
give it to everyone.
Howard Zinn? No.
No, I bought it in high school after I saw Good Will Hunting and never once read it. It's unreadable. No one's ever read that book.
I bet Good Will Hunting sold a lot of copies, though.
For sure. For sure sold a lot of copies.
I mean, Joe Rogan's got this, like, right center-right thing going on with the bros. Maybe we can take the other side, me and you.
The left side?
Yeah.
Yeah, stop getting vaccinated. Stop it. Cut yourself so the vaccine bleeds out of you and be a man.
Let's bring polio back. Let's get the mumps. Let's get the mumps. All those things we thought we had saved. Let's just take them on. Live life.
We have a guest this week. It's a guy who looks just like Chauvin. Just like the cop who's in jail. He looks just like him, and we're going to talk to him. He does a great impression. It's going to be awesome. JRVP. How was your guys' week? I've been just draped in an American flag, kicking people, anyone who looks like they're not from here. You want to go on a tourist ride and look around LA? I'm going to kick you with my American flag boots, which I own.
The boots.
My week's been good. You know, it's the kids are still back at school. I do think of like different things during the week, but nothing ever happens. Like I think of things I could like talk to you about, but nothing really happens. Like it occurred to me during this last week, like that I'm better at podcasting on my other podcasts around the NFL. And then I was like, I don't know what the theory is for that. Maybe you're making me uncomfortable, even though we've been friends this whole time. I'm better podcasting on that. What do you think about that?
Well, in that one, you have like things to talk about. This is like us just killing time. I'm surprised anyone listens to it whatsoever. I don't go on other podcasts, really. I've got one coming up soon. I'm going to be on Tiger Belly in a little bit. Try to make this All Things Comedy switch pay off for us and get out there a little bit. But I don't know. I don't listen to podcasts. So I'm just surprised anyone listens to this. So I don't know if we're good at it or bad at it. I assume we're good at it, but I do not pay attention. I'm never like, that was a good one, that was a bad one. They all seem the same to me. And as soon as I'm done, I close my laptop and I never think about it again.
Yeah, that's fair. I have my theory is like I'm used to being the dick in the room. You know what I mean? No. Like, and it's destabilizing to me. You do know, and you know it's destabilizing to have you there over the top. You know, and then I'm just supposed to be. I'm painted into a corner. I don't know. It's not a natural state.
So you're a dick on the Around the NFL podcast?
I mean, maybe like on a relative scale, yeah.
How are you a dick? Like, oh, they're not going to draft him. That's what I assume you're like. Oh, no, more free agency. Oh, what are you? What are you, stupid? Football.
You know, I just like to you start little fights. It just happens naturally.
Niners and 6. That's what I assume your podcast is like.
You know, we have the draft coming up this week. It's a big week. We're podcasting every day. We're busy.
You don't know anything about college football whatsoever. What do you do when you talk about the draft? Like, you don't know anything. And I'm not saying you know football more than anyone else I know. The NFL, you've got it front to back. But college football, you don't know. Are you just like looking over Mel Kiper's shoulder?
Pretty much. I mean, I just cram. I used to cram even more. You know, you got time, you start watching the college football guys a little bit. I do that. But mostly I'm just like reading and listening to other people's podcasts and just so I can kind of cram and be okay at it, you know?
You stand on the shoulders of giants, I see. I had an interesting week. I got back into stand-up this week. I've been promising my long delayed return. And what's interesting for me is I say I'll do one show. Like, I've turned down everything for the past year. I'm like, I'm not doing it until I'm vaccinated and people can go out safely. And then a couple of weeks ago, I started to say yes. And then everyone comes out of the woodwork. So like, oh, Jeselnik's doing shows again. Let's ask him to be on ours. And I'd said yes. And then I found out there's one place that's like 2 blocks away from where I live that it does like almost 2 shows a night most nights. It's like this outdoor courtyard. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And had beef almost immediately.
You didn't like it?
No, I loved it. I loved getting back up on stage. The first show was tough because I'm like reading my jokes. Like, even the jokes I'd written before this, I don't know them enough that I kind of had the piece of paper, did 20 minutes, but was like reading things, crossing things out. I've got some new stuff. Things worked, things didn't work. I was like cool with it. And then I have to wait for the second show. And I forget what I'm like. I forget that... give you a little inside baseball. I have an ego when it comes to stand-up, and I do not let people fuck with me when I'm on a show. And like, give me an example. I'm at the Comedy Cellar in New York years ago. Famous people come in all the time and ask to do a set, and they're always allowed to do it. It doesn't matter how packed the show is or who's on the show. You get to do it, but people have a way of doing it. Chris Rock will come up to me and say, "Anthony, do you mind if I go in before you? I'm only doing 10 minutes working something out," and it's always an honor. Louis C.K., can I do 15 before you? And he tells me exactly how much he's going to do, and he sticks to that time, and he asks me personally. No one comes up to me and says, "Louis wants to do time." He comes up to me and says it, and I'm always fine with it. Someone comes up and tries to say, "Hey, they're going up next," I fight them. I go to the manager and say, "You can put this person up, but I'm leaving." And I forgot that I do that. So the first show was like, it's a bunch of friends, people that I know, friends of mine. I'm cool with it. And the second show, they're like, blank is dropping in. I have no problem with this. Again, I'm 2 blocks from my home. I can hang out in the back. A name everyone would recognize. I'm not going to give them. I'm not going to give them the credit and not start unnecessary drama. But I do not like this person for no reason. But the biggest reason would be this person really does not like me, and I could not tell you a reason why. But we have butted heads in the past, like at the Comedy Store, where they tried to bump me, not through any fault of their own. Sometimes it's an ego thing. Like Dane Cook has come in and been like, "I'm bumping Jesselnick," and I'm like, "No, you are not. I'm leaving right now." And they make Dane go after me, and I feel like I want to fight, and I love it. Like I do not shy away from contact that way. But this person comes in and they're like, "Listen, they're doing 5 to 10." Everyone else is I'm doing 20 minutes. Like they want to do 5 to 10. I'm like, fine, that's cool. And then like, they want to go after the person you're following. They really want to go after that person. They have to be somewhere else. And I say, fine. Not thinking that they're lying. Not thinking for a second that they're lying. I'm just like, okay. Within 5 minutes, I understand what has happened to me. And not only that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm still cool. I'm still going to sit here.
Well, what has happened to you?
That they are not doing 10 to 15. They said that, and they're going to go as long as they possibly can, strictly to fuck with me, strictly to big time me.
No way.
And even then, I'm like, you know what?
Wait, really? How do you know?
Because I can tell. If you say you're doing 10 to 15, you 10 to 15. That's fine, and I'll get to where I realized what was really happening. So they're on stage for like 5 minutes, and they're fucking around. They're not even like, it's not like they're coming up and hitting material. They don't have a late night set coming up. They're just like dicking around on stage. And the booker comes up to me and says, hey, they said they don't want to introduce you. Like there was no MC. There's no MC. It's just the person introduces the person next. And the exact phrase was, they don't think they can introduce you with enthusiasm. Which means that not only am I getting bumped, but I don't get to go next. Someone else has to go after that. So I'm going almost like an hour later. And I understand that this person does not like me, came there to big time me, didn't come to me and say, hey, I have a problem introducing you, let's talk about it. Just told the booker right before they went on stage. And I'm like, okay. Like I'm not going to leave. I'm still just excited to be up on my first show. And then I see them start to do crowd work. And if you're up there and you're like, I got to do 10 to 15, and you start doing crowd work, you were just killing fucking time. And then I've got to wait and have someone else go up. Like the guy who books the show, who's the worst comic on the lineup, is going to go up and do 15 and then introduce me? No. So I hand the guy back his money. I got paid for both shows. I hand him back the cash and I say, I am leaving. Like there's no way I'm doing this. And afterwards, people were mad. I saw things online. People were furious because like, I didn't pay to see this person. I paid to see Jesselnick. And when they see me, when they're walking into the room, they see me. People are saying hello to me. They know I was there and they know exactly why I left. And now I'm like, okay, the Comedy Store comes back. The Comedy Store comes back this Friday. I put in avails immediately. And I know this person is going to be there. The Joe Rogans of the world are gone. The Chris D'Elias of the world are gone. The guys who were like the big time alphas at the Comedy Store are gone. And I know this person's going to come in and try to claim their spot. And I'm about to go to fucking war. Like I will not perform here if you fuck with me. And I don't mind if we're on the same show. I get to go up first because I never run the light. If I don't like someone, I give them a great introduction no matter who they are because I'm a fucking professional. And I do not run the light ever. That if I go after this person, because this person used to go up to the Comedy Store before it closed. And I would say, I hate introducing this person because I just don't like them, but I have to like fake it. And they go, would you rather go after them? Because they run the light every single fucking time. And I said, you're right. You're right. I'm going to go up first. So come Friday, if we're on the same lineup, I've got to go to the man. And it's new management now at the Comedy Store. Everyone who used to be there is gone. They went to Austin with Joe Rogan. It's a new crew, a new staff.
Wait, really? He took like the whole Comedy Store?
He took everyone. He took everyone he wanted. A lot of employees, a lot of managers, a lot of bookers. Wild. They're going to Austin.
Fucking Tiffany Haddish. She just keeps acting up, in front of you.
You're close. You're very close.
Oh, really? I was trying to make a bad guess, but
I like Tiffany Haddish.
No,
I don't have a problem with Tiffany Haddish. But this person, I truly do, and I am like 100% prepared to go to war. I will abandon the Comedy Store and find another place to go if they cannot accommodate me on this. And it's not like, hey, it's an ego. I don't like them. They don't like me. It's like they run the fucking light just to be a dick. They fucking suck. Like this person fucking sucks. And I just forgot to tell them right away. Like if they had come in and been like, this person's going to drop in, and I said, that's great, they're going after me, I could have gotten it done. But it didn't occur to me. And then as soon as it started happening, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot what this is like, and just bailed. Went back the next night and did 2 shows. Everything went great. I'll be at this place for the next week or 2, but I'm very excited about the store coming back. And again, I know I've got 15, maybe 20 minutes of new stuff that is not quite there. But every day I add a new joke. I'm excited about where things are, but I will 100% go to war. And I don't have a problem with a lot of comics, but this one, God damn it, don't ever try to big time me on some. There are comics that I truly respect who I would put above me in the canon of comedians, and I'm happy to accommodate them, but not this one. Not the way they pulled this shit, this passive aggressive shit. I'm in it to win it. So I'm sure there will be. I guarantee people listening know exactly who this is. I don't think it's
I don't either.
I'm reasonably.
You guys don't, but if we paused it right now and you went and Googled some things, you would figure it out real quick.
Well,
that's true.
Just tell me. I mean, we can edit that part out. It's like Bomani Jones on his podcast just does a thing where they play hold music. You know, we can do some version.
I'll let you both guess, and if you guess it, bleep it out, and I'll tell you.
I can Google who was at the,
They wouldn't be on it because
they dropped in.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't Chris Rock and LeBron who posted at the Comedy Store or whatever. I saw that. That was weird. I didn't know it was
LeBron James. That's who I'm mad at right now.
Well, it's funny.
LeBron.
Wait, I have an actual question though.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it? I mean, these shows kind of get out around 10. It's not like the Comedy Store where people are going till 2 a.m. and the later it is, it's sort of like you get to, the door guy gets to go up and this and that. If you're last at like a sort of headlining event like this, doesn't that mean that you're the best? Like you're the headliner? Like, isn't it?
Depends. No, because if everyone's doing the same amount of time, who cares? Some people just want to get up and go.
Yeah.
It's not always who's last is the best. I mean, I understand why people think that. And listen, if I'm in a club and there's an MC, a feature act, and then a headliner, the headliner is the best one. They're doing the most amount of time.
Right.
But if everyone's doing the same time, and some people prefer to go last. David Tell always wanted to go last. Orny Adams was going last on these shows just because I think he wanted to. We were both doing the same amount of time. But yeah, do not fuck with me. They came into the show, said hi to everyone except me, and I was like, that's fine. We don't have to be friends, but you will respect me. And
I want to know what you did to this person in the past, because the thing I like though is I'm seeing Jeselnik with the fire in his eyes, and so maybe. Speaking to LeBron, this is like the LeBron Lakers season where they didn't make the playoffs and everyone just started talking shit on LeBron in the off season, and it was like that's what LeBron needed to get him going, and then to destroy the fucking Western Conference.
Yeah, I'm not even mad because I enjoy the fire. I enjoy being like, I'm going to write more jokes. I'm going to get up more and more, just to rule the kingdom, if you will. And the only way I can think that this person doesn't like me is at the Comedy Store back in the day, no one bumped me. No one. Like I remember Chris Rock coming up to run Oscar stuff, and they were like, Jeselnik's next, you can go before him, and he was like, I'll go after Jeselnik, I want to watch a set. So when you're dealing with that kind of like baseline level, I just said, listen, no one gets to bump me. I've like, Nick Kroll's a good friend of mine, and they used to throw him up in front of me because he'd just be a drop-in guest, and I was like, Nick, you can't do that. You can put your name on the lineup, you can go after me, but you can't be doing this to me every week. And he stopped. And one time, this person comes to they're in town, and so a manager does not know what the score is, and they're like, "Oh, you can do all the rooms. Just like go over to the main room right now and jump up. They'll put you up next." I was next, and when they get back there, they said I'm next, and they're like, someone told you wrong because they do not bump me here. You can go after me. You can go to the other room and then come back, but I guarantee you I'm next. And they're like, no, let's talk to someone. So we had to walk through the Comedy Store to find a manager and we don't speak the entire time. I'm just walking like, this is so awkward. I didn't mean for it to be. And then we get there and the manager's like, no, Anthony's next. And they're just like, oh, and like walks away, never talks to me. I had to introduce this person for like a month at the store.
Paula Poundstone.
It was Paula Poundstone. You're right. Bleep it out.
Who? Yeah. I don't even know who the fuck that is.
Of course you don't, Erica. It's not really Paula Poundstone.
It was a joke.
But yeah, I'll tell you guys as soon as this is over.
I can't wait.
I swear to, I'm like, in my head, I've gone through like things to say, and I will take it to the mat. Like this, I do not fuck around with this.
Okay.
You can say you're better than me. You can say you sell more tickets. You have a bigger attendance. You're a bigger draw. That is all well and good. But if I'm on a lineup, you go after me if you want to drop in. And if you go before me, you better stick to your fucking time. I hate people who run the light. And if you're running the light just to be like, I'm going to show him, then you enemy for life. Enemy for life. But again, I am ecstatic about this. I am ecstatic because so many people have left LA and gone to Austin, left LA and gone to Nashville, left LA and gone to New York, that it's going to be a battle to see who becomes, for lack of a better word, the alpha of Los Angeles. And I don't need to be the alpha, but no one is ever going to fuck with me on a lineup. And I can't wait to talk to the management of the Comedy Store and be like, you can put us on the same show. I'm going first every time. And if anyone ever bumps me, I'm just flat out leaving. You can keep your money. And what made me mad about this show was that I saw people complaining they did not give them refunds. I gave the money back. I could have kept the money and been like, you took my time and this is fucked up. And they were all mad that this person ran the light. But people came up and were like, Anthony wasn't here. We know he was here. And at first they told them that I had like an emergency, that I had to go to another show, and then admitted what had actually happened, that someone bumped me and ran the lights too much, but didn't give them the money back. And they were expensive tickets. And if I had known that, I would have kept my money. But I gave it back thinking like whoever needs it should get it. But the next time I will be just standing by the door waiting for someone to drop in. I fucking dare someone to come drop in and go in front of me on any of these shows coming up.
How did it feel though to be back? I mean, this is what you do, and it's been over a year. How did that feel?
Good. It felt good. The first show back was terrible. I mean, just like I thought it would be. I'm uncomfortable. I don't like having to read off a piece of paper. But after that, I kind of got it down and was funny in between jokes, thought of a couple extra things. I have a ton of work to do, but I'm very excited to do the work. And now that the Comedy Store is back as of Friday, I mean, I'll be getting up 5 or 6 days a week, just loving it. So I'm there. And it was fun to get money again. To have someone hand you cash for a show. I haven't made any money in a year. That just to be handed some money was great. I've got a little envelope full of cash in my desk drawer again.
I mean, the sponsors, they hook us up, but they're not handing you.
Sure, I get cash, my business manager gets a check and it gets divided up and all that, and that's fine. I mean, I've been making money, but to be doing stand up, like you never have to hit an ATM. Because they pay you in cash for the most part, and you just never have to worry about it. That felt good. So yeah, I will be. I don't have a set tonight, but I'm up tomorrow. I'm up Thursday. Saturday. I think 4 days a week minimum from here on out. I can't wait to get to 6 or 7 and just watch this set grow until I can get back on the road.
I saw the Comedy Store tickets for Friday are like $85 though. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think they're just doing the main room, and they've got to have everything separated. Like they can't open every room, but I think they're opening up the main room, spacing it out. If you're a huge fan, you can get in there. I'm sure it's going to be a banger of a show.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they asked me for my avails. I said I can do Friday, not Saturday, and it sold out immediately without even announcing the lineup. But I will be there this Friday and fucking ready to fight. When I walk out with boxing gloves and make someone hold the mic for me because I can't hold it with my boxing glove hands, you'll know. You'll know Jesselnick is back. Yeah, listen, I love comedians.
It's good. I
love comedians, but don't ever. I can't wait till it comes to a head again. And I'm sure this person will never talk to me about it, but I will lose my shit.
Well, I want you to start just taking this.
Just name them.
Public, next show. Maybe we'll tease it out, episode 103. Maybe it'll be the next live show, and we'll tell you in the VIP room, episode 150.
I basically did. My friend who I talked to about this was like, do not talk about it on the podcast. Everyone will know who it is. It'll be a huge fucking thing. I said, I'm not going to name names. And I'm more mad at myself for just letting it happen.
People know inside comedy that listen, but plebes like us, I don't know who you're talking about. So
yeah, I didn't know.
Within 24 hours, this podcast will go on the air in 2 hours. By this time tomorrow, there will be this happened. Everyone knows. But
you're doing the shows in Hollywood the next 2 days, and I've seen the title card, and this so you're doing a show and this person just dropped in, right? They weren't on the, okay.
Yeah, they're not in any lineup. So you can't find it. You can't find out that way.
Okay.
You can't find out that way.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was my week, but I'm just excited to be writing again, like to have a reason to write. It's hard to just write jokes not knowing when you're getting up on stage. But if I'm like, tonight didn't go so well, tomorrow I better have a couple extra new ones. Maybe I write 3 or 4 jokes. One of them is good enough to keep it going in the set. That it's just a matter of time. It's incremental, step by step, and I am here for the work. I am pumped, and I will not be fucked with or disrespected in any way. I'm a comedy god. Anything else happen with you guys this week?
I could listen to you talk about this for the rest of the show. Like that.
Yeah, like does this mean you're going to be parceling out all your good stuff is going to the stand-up, no more for the Jesselnick and Rosenthal Vanity Project?
JRVP. Junior Vice President.
No, I mean, it's a totally different monster. This is like riffing, whereas I don't riff on stage. Maybe if something happens in the crowd, but I've got my jokes. I never write a joke for this podcast. I have like little bullet points, and then I just kind of go off the top of my head, which is fun. But I wouldn't want to do stand up this way. So they do not intersect at all. Neither one takes away from the other. If anything, I've got to deal with people whispering JRVP when I take the stage, which I don't mind as long as you don't like.
What, they did that this week?
No, but they usually do. Like at the Comedy Store, outdoor shows you can't hear as much, and it's like in the round this show, but I ignore that, so I just have my back to half the crowd the entire time and tell them they should have gotten better tickets. But yeah, this is just, if someone interrupts my first joke by yelling out JRVP, I take it because I'm glad they're a fan, but I am certainly annoyed. Yell it in the beginning or at the end or during a laugh, but not when I'm in the middle of a setup. I do not like that.
This isn't, the pandemic's not over, but the fact that we are fully vaccinated, you came by, we'll mention that in a second. And you're back to work. It's, it's kind of a soft end for us. If you could go back to tell Anthony from 13 months ago, any advice of how to handle this? Like what would you say, or what's the biggest mistake you think you made in the old pandemic here?
That's a great question, Greg. I don't think I made any. I think I went on the journey that I had to go on. Like right now, I'm in great shape. I weigh a little bit less than I did when this pandemic started. When I was working out like 5 days a week. Yes, I hit the bottle a little hard in the beginning, and then got off of that. Rummy certainly saved my life, getting me outside and getting me doing things. I don't think I could have been more productive stand-up wise. I'm working on this TV show now that I think I only has been working on for a few months, but I can't imagine that having gone any faster or quicker. I read a lot. I was healthy. Like I did I may have bought some things I probably shouldn't have bought, but I would have bought those things anyway. I think I did better than most people when it comes to purchases, but I'm very happy with where I am now. Yeah, at the end of the pandemic, but I had to go through all that stuff. There's no like, oh, I shouldn't have done this or shouldn't have done that. Like I had to go on the journey and that I had to go on. But it's very nice to be vaccinated and being able to do normal stuff again.
I'm watching Top Chef, and it's kind of amazing how almost every person on that show was like, basically said like how they were doing the show in part because like shit fell apart after the pandemic happened, and they just all drank way too much, and they're trying to like get, and this is it's taped like 6 months into the podcast, but it was just like such a common thing that so many people went through. Top Chef's a bunch of badasses. I
had dinner with my old showrunner from Good Talk, Megan, last week. We went to one of my favorite sushi places in the country, and she was like, "Yeah, you got it out of the way early. Like you lost your shit immediately, and had like 2 or 3 weeks where you were gone, where everyone was like worried, and then because of that, you turned it around. Whereas there were people who were great for 6 months and then lost it. Like I'm almost glad that I lost it when I did. And again, I think everyone loses it a little bit at some point."
Of course.
But, and I have no shame in having lost it, but I got it back together, and now like I just feel like a fucking bull who's just like ready to charge any red flag that they see. Like I could not be more fired up. I'm more excited to get back out there and be me again.
I think you're right. Everyone has had a different sort of journey, but it's been shitty for everyone. I would say my biggest mistake was reading the book The Plague. That was my biggest mistake.
Camus?
Yeah. Like, I thought, like, maybe I'll, like, go to literature and find some insight about this moment by reading the book The Plague by Camus. And it was like the most depressing thing ever. It was not a pleasant experience. I liked that book before, but it was like, no, I didn't need to do that. That was a mistake.
One of my regrets, I honestly, and I love the book. We've talked about it a little bit. I didn't recommend it because I wasn't going to, but I read Anna Karenina by Tolstoy, and it honestly ruined books for me for like a month and a half, where I just didn't want to pick up. It was so like bad. It was so good that it made me like, what am I going to pick up to follow that? That if I hadn't read that when I did, I would have just been flying through stuff, reading a bunch of stuff right now. You know who's got a book coming out in a week?
No.
Rachel Cusk. I'm very excited. Already pre-ordered. Yeah. So excited for the new
good books should make good books always inspire me to start cranking. If anything, they get like the muscles going.
Good books too, but not great books. Brilliant books make you feel like I've read literature. And there are very few books I would put in that category of Anna Karenina. But after I've read it in a couple of weeks, like I was like very into it, and then once I was done, I could not pick up another book for months. But I wouldn't call it a regret. It's just like, I maybe I should have been reading other things.
I went like back to back Camus and felt like I was at the bottom of a well after that. That was the biggest mistake.
I don't go back to back with authors. The last author I went back to back on was Cusk. Was Rachel Cusk. I read the whole Outline trilogy back to back. But those books just kind of flow together.
I know. I never did recommend that the second time around. But kudos, the third one was so fucking good. All right, we should get to our next part of the show.
Let's get to me visiting you and your family. I got my hair cut, and then went and stopped in to see Greg and drop off. I got Run the Jewels merch for his kids. I got a little T-shirt for Walker and a sweatshirt for Ellis. And then I was like, they're not there. They're not there at the time. I just talked to you and Ellis and Emeka for a little bit. You gave me a halo light, which is way fucking bigger than I ever thought they would ever be. It's huge in my apartment. It looks like I'm getting into photography, and it's just sitting in the corner. I'll probably never use it, but I got that, and I was like, just send me a picture of the kids doing the Run the Jewels like fist and gun thing. And Greg sent me like 8 pictures, and they look like they're doing it at gunpoint. Like they keep making weird faces while they're doing it. They don't really have the hand thing down. They didn't want to do it.
Kids don't want to do stuff like that. I mean, I failed so poorly, and I tried for like 3 minutes, trying to get the fist and the thing and standing in the right place. And eventually Emeka just took over, and she got much better pictures. But you saw the best of what we got.
They're very cute. I can't wait to see them wearing the merch. But it's they are the coolest kids on the playground with their Run the Jewels stuff. I wonder if like parents at the school are like, that kid's so fucking cool. Like what? How do they get that?
I thought about that because we went to the park later that day, and they're Alice has got on her Run the Jewels sweatshirt, and just like she's on her scooter, and just other little kids going by her. They were afraid. They just like got out of her way.
Fuck yeah, they're afraid. They should be. And now it's time for Did We Get Any Notes? You know we did not. I dare you to give me notes. Bring me a note. Bring it to me and see what happens. I'm just standing here with a fucking axe waiting. I'm standing outside a building with an axe waiting for it to light up on flames. Waiting for there to be a fire so I can just chop down that door and then go in and kill everyone inside. That's the kind of firefighter I am. The firefighter who only works one day and then gets fired. No notes. No notes ever. I want to know before the season's over. We've done 32 episodes of this out of 45.
Yeah, let's go ATC. Let's go Bill Burr.
Let's go All Things Comedy. I dare you to give me a note. That'll get us through 10 episodes alone. Give me a note and watch me just fucking run with it. And that was, Did We Get Any Notes? Now let's take it down to a place that never tries to big time me. They're on the lineup. They go when they're scheduled to go. And they don't do some passive aggressive bullshit where they talk to people in the crowd for 25 minutes. while I give money back and leave out of sheer spite. It's Erica's Corner. Erica Tamposi, our producer, she knows her place for the most part. She's a great producer. Really keeps this thing, keeps the train on the track, so to speak. She edits. She listens to this podcast 3 times after we do it to make sure everything's perfect and nothing's in there that will get me in trouble, except for that one time I was really drunk and she got me in trouble.
Really sorry.
She does it all for us, and she has her own podcast that we don't let her promote on this in any way, shape, or form, but we let her carve out a little corner of our podcast for her own little corner to ask us a question, play a game, whatever it is she wants to do. It's Erica's Corner. Erica, shine like a diamond.
This question is from Nick. It says, Anthony, the merch on your website is trash. As a longtime fan, I'd love to buy merch that was a bit better. The crew neck is a good start, but other than being a crew neck, it's fucking trash. If it's podcast related, I'd be into that too. Can y'all make any commitment to investing into some decent hoodies or hats or something? Before Greg says anything, I'm not going to wear an Around the NFL hoodie if that exists.
Great question. Normally, I don't take criticism from the fans. If they're like, I don't like this or I didn't like that last special, I'm like, you're not a real fan. This fan, what's his name?
Nick,
you're 100% right. I've never done merch before. I was like, let's do merch. I had like a whole thing with my website, and they were like, we can do it ourselves. We keep it all in a warehouse. We send it out. Do you want to have it made to order or just buy a bunch and then try to sell it out? And I thought, you know what, let's make a limited amount and try to sell it out and then go from here. And I should have done more due diligence in terms of the designs. I knew I wanted very simple, basic stuff. And I do agree, the sweatshirt, the crew neck, is the best of the bunch. But the other ones, I think, are kind of garbage. I do like the Anthony Jeselnik is Nothing Like His Fans t-shirt, but I think it should be done better. So what I have done, even before I got this, Erica asked me this question, I told them, I was like, I do not like this merch. I do not care if I was going to be like, once it sells out, I'll get new stuff. I said, you know what, let's put it on sale. Let's get rid of it. If I've got to eat it financially, I will eat it. And then let's get made to order, super high quality. And I'm not a design guy. I don't really know what looks good, what doesn't. I like plain clothes with no logos on them, but I will get someone involved, get some really cool merch. And it might be expensive. I don't need it to be cheap, but I need it to be high quality and good stuff that you're going to want to wear. The problem is I can't wear my own merch. It's insane to wear your own merch. I'm not fucking fluffy. Gabriel Iglesias wears a t-shirt with his picture on it that says a fluffy everywhere he goes, and it's insane. So I can't wear it to promote it that way, but I am taking the steps to get rid of the stuff we have. And if you've wanted it, and if you wanted some of it, and you like it, you want to wear it to work out, you want a Anthony Jeselnik is Nothing Like His Fan shirt, it will go on sale shortly. And then once that's gone, I will find someone to design me really good stuff. Maybe get some JRVP merch in there, which I will not be splitting the money with Greg or Erica on.
People would want it. People
would take it. So we'll think of like different slogans we can have. I like the very simple, kind of basic, just Jeselnik or JRVP. But we'll find some new things that people actually want. Like if there's something that you want, email us at the website. Be like, you know what? I would love a sweatshirt that said "Horses are the soldiers of pets." If you want that, I will give it to you if it's made to order. Like, I want to make the fans happy with merch. I don't need to make money off of it, but I want people who want to support in that way. I want to make them happy. So I don't take requests, but I will gladly take requests on merch. The wheels are in motion. Things are happening, and you are 100% right that my merch was garbage. I just did not know what I was getting into.
What's that email address that they could send some suggestions? That's a good.
Well, to your website, you said, right? Like your contact?
No, I don't have an email. I don't have a contact on my website. It's JRVP, Junior Vice President at gmail.com. Yep. Yeah, if you have merch recommendations, put merch recommendation in the subject and tell me what you want. And if I like it, I think it's good enough, then I will do it. If you want to design something, if you want to have like a picture of like me and Greg riding Erica, who's like a horse somehow,
I'm not,
and we're jumping over things.
I'd wear that.
Draw it up, and maybe we'll do it. Like I have no ego about merch whatsoever. I just want it to be not embarrassing, which the last merch was.
I mean, the reason why this guy's email got got read, though, is he had the little dig around the NFL at the end. That was what won you over. Just like little.
Oh, you think that's how I pick things?
Yeah,
no.
I do.
Do you guys sell around the NFL merch?
We don't.
No, because there's like no motivation to, because it would just be like the NFL's money. So
yeah, the NFL would just take it off from you. They wouldn't let you have it.
I think
even if you did it on your own
stuff's
website
cool.
and made it. Yeah, I would love
shit.
to. I would love to do it. I know there are people who have great merch. I have comic friends who have really good stuff where the company will be like, what about this? We heard your bit about this.
Oh, that's awesome.
What do you think about this design? And they're like, great. But it's made to order. It doesn't matter how many people get it. So I want good stuff, and I'm going to get it. And again, high quality sweatshirt.
Ask one of those people that you like their stuff. Ask for their people.
The person that I'm referencing right now is Chris D'Elia, and I'm not going to him to be like, hey man, heard things are going great. What's your merch company again? What's going on with that?
Just checking in.
Someone asked me, they were like, do you think it's okay to have Chris D'Elia come back and do a show? And I was like, not if I'm on it. Like, I don't have a problem. I just don't want to be the first one back. Like, I think it's weird that I wish him the best, I guess, but I do not look forward to doing shows with him, and I'm certainly not going to be like, hey, let's chop up the merch situation. Hey, how do you meet girls? hey, what Snapchat filter do you use, Chris? People want to know. And that was Erica's Corner. Shine on, you merchandise diamond. And now it's time for
Ad Copy.
Rosenthal. I'm going to keep you doing this for at least a little while more longer. I enjoy every week. I'm like, maybe I come back and start reading ads, but I'm enjoying. It's a vacation. I'm not handing off responsibilities. I'm enjoying my vacation from ads, and I will be back. Although I do not think that we get paid more if I read them than if Greg reads them. So what's the point? If an ad company came and were like, hey, Manscaped would love to give
them ideas. Don't give them ideas.
I want them to give them ideas. I want them to be like, Jesselnick gets this, Rosenthal gets this. Erica, you owe us money if she reads it. I'm on my way back. I'm just getting hyped up again. After the live show, it was just like such a high that I'm coming back to normal podcast level, and I will get back to reading ads. But for now, I'm letting Greg do it.
Well, this one you might want to just jump in the middle, because I know you feel passionately about Freshly. The dinner time company that offers chef-made, nutrient-packed, delicious meals delivered fresh to your door. I ate tonight. I ate 2 of them. We split 2 of them.
It's so good.
I mean, it was the bolognese and it was the peppercorn steak.
I'll jump in. I've gotten meal delivery service. Like the beginning of the pandemic, I got a delivery service where they bring you like a giant cooler bag with your meals for the day every time, and you get so sick of it so quickly. This Freshly, the portions are perfect, where you eat it and you feel just like good and healthy. You don't feel sick of it, and again, it's not frozen, so you just throw it in the microwave a little bit, and it's perfect. I went through them. I ate 2 a day. They gave me a bunch, and I ate 2 a day until they were gone. I'm a big Freshly fan.
Well, yeah, you mentioned that they are not frozen, and that's like important for everyone to remember. I didn't know that. I just stuck them in the freezer. That was a big mistake, because there's an expiration date on those things. You're supposed to eat them quickly. That defeats the purpose. But this is such a high quality company that I didn't realize that until today. They were just sitting in the freezer the whole time. Big mistake. Well, guess what? I unfroze them. Maybe they wouldn't recommend this, but it still tasted good. Like you could tell. Usually in these sort of things, you get like a steak. It's not really like a steak. It's not like a real thick piece of meat. But this was. So visit freshly.com and you can choose from over 30 delicious, satisfying, better-for-you meals like the steak peppercorn I mentioned, sausage baked penny, or chicken pesto bowl. It's only $6.16 per meal, so you can save money. Again, fresh, never frozen. Don't do what I do. I made a mistake, but I was testing it. I was testing like, how bad can you fuck up this product and it will still taste good? I still made it happen.
You know what else I like about Freshly is that they give it to you all at once. Like when I would get the other delivery services, it's like, here's what you're eating today. And if you don't like it, you're kind of screwed. But when Freshly gives it to you, you can kind of portion out. You're like, you know what? Today I'm going to want chicken parm. Tomorrow I'm going to want the peppercorn steak. You know that you know exactly exactly what you're going to get, and it kind of like suits your mood a little bit more than just than a service that's just like, here, eat this, asshole. Hope you like sweet potatoes because you signed up for paleo for some goddamn reason, and it sucks.
I mean, Freshly is getting their money's worth here, getting me and Jesselnick. Right now, Freshly is offering our listeners $40 off your first 2 orders when you go to freshly.com/JRVP. Again, go to freshly.com/JRVP for $40 off your first 2 orders and stop stressing about dinner. That's freshly.com/JRVP for $40 off your first 2 orders. And we're going to go back to back on the ads today.
You know what? I'm going to go back to Freshly for a second. This is perfect for guys like me. You want to eat healthy, you're working out, but you don't want to eat just like, you don't want to eat fucking wheatgrass all the time. You want something good that's not going to like just ruin your gains that you've been trying to make up all day. It's healthy. That you can when you taste it, you know they didn't load it with butter. They didn't do all that shit they do to make it taste good. And you actually feel like you're eating a real meal. They give you all the stuff that you need for it. Quick trip to the microwave, and you're golden. I love it. And it's the kind of thing, you don't want to eat it out of the plastic container. You want to put it on the plate. And that, from someone who has different meals, putting it on a plate is a whole new ballgame. You're an adult now. You're an adult now when you eat Freshly.
They recommend it. I saw in the box. They're like,
that's why I did it.
Put it on the plate. Listen to the chefs. Freshly.com.
It's not a TV dinner. It's not a TV dinner. It's Freshly dinner.
Freshly.com/JRVP. Okay, so this other ad is Keeps. And it's about hair loss. And look, hair loss is important. It's a big stressor. 2 out of 3 men will experience some form of hair loss by the time they're 35. So I'm 42. And Emeka thinks my hairline is backing up like a little bit. And if you lift it up, you see the widow's peak maybe. Maybe it is getting a little thinner. So I think I'm going to go get hooked up with Keeps here. Prevent that shit. I'm on TV. Anthony's not the only one on TV. I gotta keep this under control.
My hairline's going back. I've been thinking about, do I want to like kind of touch up the hairline, or do I want to just go full tilt on my eyebrows so they go all the way up? You know what I mean?
Keeps does not do that. They do offer a simple, stress-free way to keep your hair. A convenient virtual doctor will consult with you, and your medications will be delivered straight to your door every 3 months. It's low cost. Treatments start at just $10 per month because Keeps offers generic versions of the best quality stuff, direct packaging, and proven results. Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors. It's what I just said. Prevention is key. Treatments can take 4 to 6 months to see results. Act fast. Stop this problem before it happens. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/JRVP to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's keeps.com/JRVP to get your first month free. keeps.com/JRVP. Keep that lettuce on your hair. Yeah, it's important. People know you that way. They don't want to know you in some other pathetic bald way. People say, "Oh yeah, you actually look good bald." No one believes that shit. They're lying.
No one believes it. They're lying to you unless you're a black athlete and shaves it every day. And I mean, I think it looks cool, but I would not want to shave my head every single day. I think that would sound like a pain in the ass. No one has ever done anything about their hair and regretted it. People get plastic surgery like, I like the way I looked before. Anyone who does anything, people get hair plugs and they brag to you about their hair plugs. You don't want to have to get the surgery. Try this. And after 6 months, you're like, I still want to do more, then do more. But this is like the best intro level way to look like me and Greg and Erica.
keeps.com/JRVP.
And that was
ad copy.
And now it's time for
What Would Anthony Do? Starring Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy.
Greg set it up.
The worst hour of my week, hour and a half, was at a kid's birthday party. Kids' birthday parties went away during the pandemic. And again, of course, this is a segment where I present something from my life, and we ask what would Anthony do in the same situation. I've avoided these kids' birthday parties, which that was nice because it's just like awkward. You don't really know the people there. And I especially hate it because like Walker has some real anxiety about these things. Like, even though he's friends with the kids in the class, there's a couple ones there, he does not want to get part of it. So they're doing all these games like sock hop races, and different things kids playing. They have all these activities, and Walker like refuses to be part of the rest of the party. He's just sitting like 50 feet away in his RTJ t-shirt, like with his hands crossed, kind of scowling, not wanting to be part of the party, and like wanting to go home. And this is pretty much a regular occurrence. It happened when he was like 3 years old. It happens now when he was 6 years old at the birthday party. And I'm just kind of dying inside. In that situation, what would Anthony do?
Now, let me ask you, I mean, I think normally I make a joke of like some funny thing that I would do, but here I have an honest to God answer. Like, why were you embarrassed? Like, why were you...
It wasn't about being embarrassed. It was about has this incredible anxiety. And do
you think he's being rude? Do you feel like he's being rude by showing up and not participating? Or like,
a little bit,
because he's better than the other kids?
Not so much that, but yeah, occasionally he'll be like, no, because the way it comes out is like, this is boring, I don't want to do it. Like in this party, this girl from his class came up right when we got there, and her mom said, oh my gosh, we've heard so much about Walker. We're doing this scavenger hunt later, and Paloma has been saying she wants Walker to be her partner. Later, the grandmother came over, and she was like, I have to meet Walker. She never stops talking about Walker. And like when the time for the scavenger hunt comes, like he's nowhere to be seen. He doesn't even want to participate. So you do feel bad, for the birthday.
I would feel bad for that. I would have tried to get him to be the partner for the...
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was trying.
For that. But before that, I would be like I remember I used to go to parties when I first got to LA, and I didn't really enjoy the comedy party. Like it would be like a dance party, and I'm just kind of like sitting off to the side, and I'd be like, am I just like a bad party goer? Am I antisocial? And someone just said to me, hey man, this is not your thing. Just hang out with us. Sit at the back table and talk trash on people, and that's fine. They'd like to go up to Walker and be like, hey man, this party's not your thing. Let's sit here with me and let's just watch people have fun and play and tell me about your different friends. And let's watch them open their presents. And if you see something you like tell me, and maybe we can get that for you. But your kid doesn't have to be like a party animal. These birthday parties can be lame as hell. I would just make him feel comfortable and not make him feel weird at all. Like the second time you ask, do you want to participate, is too many times. Like be like, do you want to do this? If not, I will sit here with you this entire party and watch. And you're still participating, but you're the cool kid all of a sudden. Like you get to hang out. I'd get him a pair of sunglasses and be like, hey, just sit back here.
He sort of did like that. He has this flat brimmed Red Sox hat, and he has the the RTJ shirt, and it's wearing all black. I'm like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, don't make him feel bad about being cool. He's the coolest kid at that party. Let him post up somewhere. Be like, let's go sit over here so people can still see us. You can still watch. You can cheer people on. I would try to get him to cheer on people who are playing a game, so he's still like a part of the party. But he's not weird for not wanting to get involved with that. And just say like, hey, they invited you here. Be nice. Be polite.
Right. That's.
But you don't have to participate. You can just kind of hang out, and you're spending time with your dad. I'm sure he enjoyed the experience, and I'm sure they liked the present that Walker got them. But I'm sure he enjoyed like just being out. Even if I've gone to things that I don't participate, and I just sit in the corner, and I still had a good time. I'm still glad that I went. I'm sure he was glad to get out of the house. But I would have pressed him to be the partner for the scavenger hunt. I would have been like, listen, I know you don't like this, but this girl whose party it is like really wants you to be her partner. Right. And sometimes when you're super popular and you're the cool kid and you're wearing the Run the Jewels shirt that your awesome ass godfather got you, you're gonna need to do some certain things. If you're the captain of the team, there are things you have to do even if you don't want to do them. That I would have maybe pressed for that a little bit. Like just do this and you can hang out the rest of it. But I think there's nothing wrong with a kid going to a birthday party and wanting to just kind of hang on the outside and let things go on around him.
No, I agree. And that was essentially what I was trying to do, but I wasn't as disciplined as the way you put it. You just start getting anxious because usually if you just let it naturally happen after an hour, he'll warm up, and then he ends up having a blast playing with everyone. It's just like he has to get over that. Like I'm not pushing him to do it, but once you get past that, like half the party like unfreezing. Then by the end, he's playing all these games with all the kids and like having a total blast.
But I think every party is like that. Like I remember there would be like school dances when I was a kid, and this is like before high school, where they had they called them socials. Friday nights, once a month, you'd have a social, and they're playing music. No one's dancing. It's guys on one side, girls on the other. And with 5 minutes left, everyone finally sacks up, and they pick the girl or the guy they want to dance with, and they're dancing. They dance to 2 songs. Party's over, and everyone's bummed. They wish it could go on longer. That I think that's just the way kids are. Just do not make them feel weird about it. Like it's cooler to not just be like, oh, duck, duck, goose, I can't fucking wait. You know what I mean? Let him wait. Let him wait till it's something better. But as long as he's excited to go to the party, you don't want him to like not want to be invited to parties or go to things. Be like, if you want to go and not talk to anyone, you can do that. Dad is with you. And if dad can't pull it together, Godfather Jesselnick comes in. Godfather Jesselnick takes him to the party.
Let's do it. That's good advice.
I'm in. I would take him to a party for sure. For sure. It sounds like something I would do. You know what I mean? And I feel like I would try to help him in any way I can. That's what Anthony would do. I nailed it.
Damn.
Let's get to headlines.
Let's do it. And we're starting this headline section with a difficult question, which is, when a loved one is cremated, what do you do with the ashes? And for John Sinkle Sr., or Jr. rather, he turned his dad into a bowling ball. And then on the first game using that bowling ball, he rolled a perfect game, 300, with his dad as the bowling ball. That's how it's done, Jesselnick.
So this was his first game back. I kind of looked at the story. I did not see that. At first, I thought maybe he did one of those, like, remember Bill Murray in Kingpin, where he had the bowling ball that was like lucite with a rose inside of it? They just looked beautiful. I assumed it was like he put the ashes in a ball and that was it. No, he had a bowling ball. He didn't get a new bowling ball, but he only uses 2 of the fingers. He throws it in a way that he doesn't use the thumb thing.
Yeah.
So he put his dad's ashes in the thumb thing and then sealed it over. Which my first question is, what part of your dad did you use? He didn't put all the ashes in there. He put enough ashes to fill the thumb hole. And then the rest of the dad was like, I don't know, I guess throw it in the parking lot. Who gives a shit? I got to bowl a game. I think that's crazy. And I think it's cool that he bowled a 300 after his dad died. That's cool. A 300 game whenever is always cool. Do not tell me for a second. Do not try to convince me for 1 second that his dad is up in heaven being like, yeah. That motherfucker lived to like 70 years old. He probably fought in a war. He gave that kid everything he wanted, and his kid's just going to stick him in the thumb hole of a bowling ball and start chucking it down the lane. That dad's waiting up in heaven for that kid to get up there.
Or he's
going to
jealous.
take his thumb and jam it right in his eye.
Or he's jealous. So the story was this kid, it was actually years later. He said it took him a while to find anyone who could figure out how to put the ashes in the bowling ball. Like, he didn't know how to do it.
So. I would hope you don't walk into... I can't imagine you walk into any bowling and like, oh, you want to fill it up with ashes? Sure. Just give me their name.
Yeah, go in the back.
Come back in half an hour. It'll be ready for you. I hope you like bowling 300s because that's what's about to happen, dickhead.
And so he said he's bowled, more 300s than he can count. This was like a collegiate championship level bowler. Like, he's a real deal bowler. But he learned it from his dad. And he actually had a quote that's like, this made all the nights growing up when we slept in a bowling alley while our parents were finishing league night worth it. So
I don't have a problem with that. What I think would be funny is if he throws the ball down the lane first thing, and the fucking thumb hole pops open, there's dad's ashes everywhere. You know what I mean? That's like, you're putting him in. It's like, oh yeah, this urn is really stable, and then you just like drop it on the floor. It's going everywhere. Like, it could have been Ash City. There might be ashes in the back of the pins. He has no idea. He has no clue.
Maybe that's where he put the rest of the ashes. I don't know. Just like sprinkled it all over the alley. Who knows? He said,
using it as like rosin, like just taking the ashes and just like just rubbing it in between his hands,
like doing the LeBron thing before the game, where it just right up in the air.
Like, what if he bowled like a fucking 160 and was just like, my dad cursed me. Well, I hope my dad's in hell.
they wouldn't have written an article about it. Part of the reason I found it, I'm not saying distasteful. He said it was great, like it was honoring, but he went out of his way in this article to point out that his dad never got 300, that he got like 298 and 299 sometimes, and so that his dad would be super proud of him. And I'd be like, no, you just like said in like the biggest newspaper in our local town that I never got the 300 and you're better than me. Like that's how you're going to do me.
There's no shame in bowling a 298. I mean, 300 is perfection for sure. It's like getting getting a no hitter versus a perfect game. I don't think that's shade on the dad. I just think that like after you bowl 300, that ball comes back through like the little dispenser thing, and you have to just throw it through the roof. You got to throw it right through the ceiling and be like, "Thank you, Dad. Dad, this is for you in heaven." And just chuck it up and see what happens.
I mean, what about when it just like comes crashing back down on you like a couple of seconds later?
That's why you got to throw it. You got to throw it at an angle so it crashes on someone else. Like, what happens when his mom dies? What does he do for his mom? You know, like, hey, I drilled out the handle of these gardening shears and filled it up with that shit.
What would be like
you're setting a precedent.
What would be the most ridiculous place that you would request, like, or that you could request to put your ashes? I think the dad wanted it in the bowling ball.
Honestly, let's say, Greg, I die. Okay, I die. And it says, okay, here's where the money goes. The money gets split up amongst the family. Greg, you get this much money, but you have to fill a balloon with Anthony's ashes and insert it in your rectum for a year. You can take it out to use the restroom, but you have to keep it up your ass for a year, and then you get the money. Would you do it?
How much money?
Millions of dollars.
Yeah, I would do it.
Yeah. And it has to be the same balloon. And if the balloon breaks at any point, deal's null and void.
Oh,
wait.
Seem to be wicked careful.
But that's on like the balloon manufacturer or whoever's setting this up. That I have no responsibility of that.
Okay. Let me give you a second one. Remember, what's the name of that thing that was like the woolly? It's like a face of a bald man, and then you take a pen that has has a magnet on it, and you take little like magnetic shavings, and you give him a mustache and a haircut. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm talking about? You've never seen this.
Like the Etch-a-Sketch, like the...
Not an Etch-a-Sketch.
Not the Christopher Walken thing that you had on the mold on your
No,
wall.
It's a guy's face with little shavings, magnetic shavings, and you take a pen and you can move them around, and it has to lay flat so you can see what it is. What if I got one of those for my ashes? That it's like it's a picture of me with no hair on my face, I got alopecia, I got no hair, I got no eyebrows, but you have to every day move the ashes in a way so it looks like I have facial hair, and leave it on your mantle, and you have to change it every day for a year.
That would be therapeutic, maybe. Just like it's like taking the dog for a walk. It's brushing the beard on ashes on Anthony.
Okay. Let's last version. You have to funnel my ashes. No liquid whatsoever. You put a funnel down your throat, and you just drop the dry ashes into them, and you have to hold it down, and then you get all the money. Hold it down and pass it out.
How long?
Until you pass it out. Like you cannot throw up. Oh. You have to.
You would throw up. The whole thing. So basically, you would end up like because ashes, like, I think there's a lot of ashes. It's not just like a little sprinkling or anything.
That's why the funnel, you don't have to taste them. It goes right down your throat.
But are you putting some liquid in there to help it go down?
No liquid.
Then it wouldn't go down. So you're basically guaranteeing that I'm coughing and throwing up Anthony's ashes, and I get no money.
It's in the will.
Well, your answers were went much further, and were funnier than mine. I was thinking something similar to that last one. Was like what if you were like a salad topping, like a bacon bits? Like if you made someone like make it into like a little bacon bits topping, then people had to eat it on top of the salad.
I usually think it'd be funny to have someone mix my ashes into someone's coffee that I don't like. Like I just like, you've got to go. Here's the top 10 people I hate. Put a spoonful of my ashes into their coffee. That's or good. What if I was like, Greg, here's rubber gloves. You take a handful of my ashes. You get all the ashes in your hands. You walk down the street and you sneeze them right into someone's face.
That's easy.
It's easy.
I would do that.
It's easy, but it's problematic. But I could see.
What if you just slept in it? What if you just like had to sleep in it every night? You put it on your You put it on your bed and you just sort of rolled around in it, and that was.
No, I don't want that for my ashes. I want that for my body. You know what I mean? Instead of a viewing, I'm laid out in a bed and people get to just walk in one by one and roll around with me.
All right, we're heading over to Japan for this next story, where a man in his 30s was arrested recently after dating over 35 women at the same time in a bid to get a shitload of birthday presents.
This is boss level. This is boss level, and it's a victimless crime. I don't understand why. I understand if you're a woman and you're like, oh, he lied. I thought I was the only one. He had others. But he had to put the work into this. For 35 women to get him a really nice birthday present, they must have felt like they were the only person in his life. That I do not have a problem. I admire his like ability to pull this off, and the fact that he gave them all different birthdays, so he was just always getting shit, is boss level. Like, they should put him on the money there. I don't know if he's had any blowback. Like, I'm sure he lost all the girlfriends.
They arrested him. That's what I was amazed by. I was like, how is this a crime? Lying about your birthday, is that a crime?
What did they arrest him for? What did they arrest him for? Fraud?
Yeah, they called it fraud. Under suspicion of defrauding.
I guarantee of the 35 women, I guarantee there's 6 who were like, he didn't really care about them, but he cares about me. I guarantee he still has some of them who've gotten him more stuff since. Like, this is high five city right here. Because again, he wasn't just lying. He wasn't like, I've got cancer, please take pity on me. He was like, I love you. My birthday's coming up. I'd really like something nice. He put the work in to get it. These women just maybe lost some money, maybe thought they were the only ones, but I think they still got enough from him emotionally to get him a birthday present. I don't see a problem with it.
He got some nice suits. The total amount of money that they said he like defrauded them for wasn't that much. I mean, it was just like getting these nice presents. I mean, that is like working hard for it.
He wasn't taking money. He wasn't like, hey, can you loan me a few bucks until payday? He was getting gifts.
Right.
Like, they decided what they spent on him. Like,
did you see the pictures? Did you look at the pictures?
I saw a picture of the guy real quick. I didn't see any of the women or the stuff he got. But I remember, like, in college, my girlfriend, we met. Her birthday was February 28th. We started dating right before Valentine's Day. And I ended up somehow making our anniversary and birthday like all February 14th. It was like, listen, I'm only going to celebrate this. And people were always like gobsmacked that I was able to pull it off. But it was like, yeah, it's like, and I'm not going to do 3 big days in a month. I'm going to try to combine them into one. And this guy just took me and blew me out of the water. I think he's a national hero.
I love the pictures because he kind of looks like a guy who would be defrauding. Like all these women, like he could be in a boy band, but he's like a little older almost. And all the women are like 10 to 15 years older than him. And they show him, and how it happened was some people, some of the women noticed pictures on Facebook of him with other women. And then they made this Facebook group of like the victims.
Yeah, that's what makes it even better is you were going to get caught. You have 2 or 3 of these, chances are you're going to get caught. 35? Right, but it's a matter of time.
There's like a little like photo gallery, and it's like him at different dinners with these women. It's like Leo DiCaprio and Catch Me If You Can or something. It's just like he's like having a great time, almost like looking at the camera. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, it's 100% amazing. And you know what? I want to put a pin in this story for a second. There was a story I saw that I almost took out one of the stories we had to talk about. Did you guys hear about this thing where a guy got signed up for I believe it was Japanese, maybe Korean game show, where the winners got to be in a new boy band. He did it as a joke, but he doesn't sing or dance or do any of those things, but they wouldn't let him out of the contract. So he kept on begging the viewers to vote him out, but they loved that he would kind of half dance and half rap, like he didn't put anything into it at all.
So
and
they
loved him for it. They thought it was so funny to watch this guy be miserable that he just finally got voted out before the final band thing. But for weeks, he was like, please, I hate this so much. I thought I would just come on and be on TV for a day, and this is ruining my life. I don't dance, I don't sing, I don't rap. And I think it's so funny that the Japanese people or the Korean people were like, nope, dance for us. Dance half-ass. rap at half speed. We don't care. We love how miserable you are. It's fantastic.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the Asian people are better than us in every way. Oh, fuck. Are we in the people's court right now? Isn't that what it felt like? It was the defendant.
Yeah, it's like that music got me in the mood. Like, just to fight, to have a Josh off, which is what happened last week in Nebraska, I believe. Did you hear about the Josh battle, Anthony? Before
I heard a little bit
in the headlines.
Tell me what you know, and I'll tell you what I heard.
Well, yeah. Now, after reading about it, there was a Josh battle royale in Nebraska last week. I don't need to get into right now like how it came about to be, but it was
that's important. How it came
a meeting of the Joshes. They came from as far away as South Dakota, Houston, and New York to watch what was supposed to be kind of the ultimate fight of which Josh, gets to keep his name, gets to keep the Josh name.
But wasn't it like they started adding people on social media all named Josh? And once they were like, "Why are you doing this?" And he was like, "We're gonna meet up and decide who's the real Josh."
It was the original tweet was basically he direct messaged all of the Josh Swains on Twitter, and apparently there was 20-something Josh Swains even on Twitter, and he was like, "This is too many. There can only be one." And he just screenshotted the direct message that he sent all these other Josh Swains as just trying to be funny. But it takes off, and it sort of takes off and becomes it takes a life of its own, and it expands to people being like, we should really have this Josh battle. And after a while it came together, and all the Joshes came. It wasn't just the Josh Swains.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can all agree there's too many Joshes out there. There's too many Joshes.
It's true.
And so I like that people really committed to this, and I was like, how are they going to fight? What are they going to do? And then I saw the pool noodles thing. I was like, okay, this is a silly little game. That's fun. And then I saw the winner is what, like a 7-year-old boy?
4-year-old, yeah.
A 4-year-old kid that they let win. I don't know how you won. Like, if you hit someone, were they out? What was the deal? Like, I assume they let the 4-year-old win. I would have loved this, though, if it was like 4-year-old Josh Trank, wins this thing, and then everyone else is just covered in blood. Like, it was like they all had pool noodles, and one guy was like, I'm not fucking around with these Joshes, and just came with a full-blown sword. You ever been in like a pillow fight where someone's got too much shit in their pillowcase?
Yes.
And it hurts? Yeah. You could have done that with these things. Like, I want to know the rules. But this 4-year-old Josh, I mean, he's going to live off this for the next 10 years at least. He's psyched. Like, they all did this just to make this little boy's year. He's pumped about it.
Yeah,
I don't know why his parents
some of
brought
it was
him to
for
it.
charity. I mean, I feel like the 4-year-old boy was a cop-out, because when you watch the video, it's like all these grown men and all this stuff is happening. They're fighting with noodles, and it's like this 4-year-old wins. You're just trying to play to the public. What are you trying to make this into like a Hallmark movie or something?
If it's a pool noodle, what are you going to do?
They could have killed that kid.
If they were playing freeze tag or something, or it was like a race, then you don't let the 4-year-old win. If it's pool noodles, I'd rather lose to a 4-year-old with a pool noodle.
No,
if it was
I know enough 4-year-olds. None of them are that athletic. The most athletic 4-year-old can be destroyed by any adult in anything.
Yeah, but he's wearing a helmet. Like, he just looks so happy, and now all those other Joshes have to kill themselves. Walk off a cliff, Joshes, and make little Josh watch you.
We all have a Josh in our life
Change your
that
name.
we could get rid of. Don't you agree? I can think of at least 2 that I could just lose.
I can't think of a single Josh right now off the top of my head. I really can't. I used to know Joshes galore back in Pittsburgh, but that's one of the reasons I came to California, was to get away from them. It's a cult. If you name your kid Josh, I hope they fight to the death. And if you were a Josh and you really wanted to win and a 4-year-old won, you'd be furious. You're Joshua from here on out. Call me JJ.
Josh off 2. It's just going to be all guns.
I wonder if other people with different names would do this. If there was an Anthony one, if it was like, we're going to find out who's the best Anthony, I would show up. I would show up in full camo with a sniper rifle from way far away.
There's a lot of Anthonys. Plus, I feel like there's a lot of tough Anthonys. I do like the thought of, though, when it was just his name, Josh Swain. That's a good idea, either for a movie or just or a competition, that there can only be one person with your full name. I don't think there are any Greg Rosenthal's with 2 G's at the end. I really don't. They're not listed anywhere. I always get that name if I want it or whatever. But if there's other Anthony Jeselniks out there can only be one.
It's just me and my dad. And my dad will be 72 years old in a couple months. He's not going to fight me. If I was like, I'm taking the title, he would let me have it. I'm not going to dig up my grandfather and make him battle with me. But if it was a Jeselnik off, if it was like all the Jeselniks came together to see who would win, I guarantee no one would show. Because every Jeselnik who's not directly related to me hates me. Hates the fact that any time that the name comes up, someone asks if it's like me, that I would love to battle it out.
There can't be many. I've never heard of that name. I've never heard of Jeselnik in any other context of that.
I remember as a kid in Pittsburgh looking up in a phone book, and it was like they'd be Jeselnick. There were a couple of those. But there are more Jeselniks than you would think. It's very uncommon, but if we got them all together, I would be psyched. Because even Jeselnik family reunions, there's not a lot of Jeselniks. They've all married off, and it's different things now. But I would definitely be down for a war of the Jeselniks. I'm 42. I'm in good shape, but I mean, if there's a 23-year-old D1 Jeselnik out there, he's taking me down. There's some Jeselniks on Twitter, that I see that we don't follow each other. I don't know who they are, but I would love to try to, like a Highlander situation.
Bring it, Mikey.
Cut their heads off.
Jeselnik.
Cut their heads off, and then I get their power. That's a movie. Pitch it. Pitch it right now.
Right? You want me to pitch it to you?
No. Just play the music. That's like People's Court after someone wins. Dun, 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 dun. I get to keep my dog. And now it's time for...
Choo-choo ad copy.
Jesus fucking
I was in People's Court. You just transformed me right there.
That's not an excuse for what you did.
I'm sorry.
The train pulling up to ad copy is excited because it's our old friends at BetterHelp. We tell you about them every week. And they are a great company that can take care of your mental health needs. Mental health is so important. It's more important now, during and in the aftermath of this pandemic than ever. And it's something that BetterHelp can do to assess your needs, and they match you with your own licensed professional therapist. If there's something that's preventing you from achieving your goals, they can help you work on that. They are committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches so they can make it easy and free to change counselors if needed. It's way more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. Find the particular expertise you need online.
I'm jumping in here right now. I think a lot of people are afraid of therapy. They're afraid to ask a friend for a recommendation. They're afraid to make an appointment, go to a place. You don't know what the office is. You got to sit down. What if you don't like them? You're stuck for an hour. Therapy is good for everyone. Even if you're perfect, even if you're so happy in your life, therapy will help you. This is a way in. This is a gateway in. You might not even like it. You might try it once and say, you know what, I want to sit in an office with someone and lay down on a couch. This is the way that you can do it without anyone knowing. Talk to someone and see if you like therapy, and you should like therapy. I cannot promote therapy no matter how you do it enough. This is a way in. This is why we read ads for this 3 times a podcast. Because I want everyone to do therapy, and this is just an entry level. You don't have to buy all the shit. Just go in, sign up, try it once, and see if it's for you, and it should be. And there are a million different therapists. Try one. Maybe you find out what you don't like about that therapist, and then you know what to look for going forward. But everyone in the world should be seeing a therapist.
And it is worldwide. I mean, that's one of the benefits of doing it online. You can be anywhere, including places maybe that don't have very good therapy options. You can go to BetterHelp, check out their testimonials. So many people have been using BetterHelp. They're recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. So, hey, if you either can get therapy or you go work for BetterHelp, it's up to you. I want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/JRVP. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JRVP.
They will help you with your spelling. They will help you with your spelling. They'll help you with anything. And that was...
Ad copy.
What's the next headline, Greg?
I love our next headline because it's a story about a hero.
A baller. Another baller. We've had so many ballers in these headlines. This guy is a fucking baller.
This is a hero that was a worker at an Italian hospital. Or was he? He was accused of skipping work for 15 years straight, all while being paid. He's now being investigated for fraud, extortion, and abuses of office. I say if you somehow manage to pull off 15 years of not showing up to work and getting paid the whole time, they should pay you double. Give him a bonus.
You are a hero. You are an Italian god, especially in Italy. Are you fucking kidding me? Where they have 3-hour lunches so they can sober up before they go back to work? This guy is the fucking best. And the way they found out because a lot of people were doing this. I don't know if it was the hospital had a weird thing to check in the